Hello and welcome back to my channel today, guys. So I haven't gotten a whole lot done with the holiday and everything, but I did manage to get some work done on these two pieces. So I don't know if you remember in the last video, but there was a bunch of primer and body work and stuff stuck onto here. So I went through and sanded all that off with 400 grit. So that's what I've done on the one on the right here, this guy right here. So this guy over here, I sanded it down with 400 grit, and then it had some imperfections in it. Get a little closer here, you can see some of this stuff like this. So that was all imperfections. So what I did is I went over that with some body filler and came back along and sanded that with 400 grit until all these were completely smooth. So that's what you see, all the little stuff in there. So what caused all that in my mold is when I made this, like I said, the whole part of the front was gone. So this is one that I made. So some of the tape and stuff that I used wrinkled, and I think that's what caused some of this stuff like this. But you know, to be expected, not too awful worried about. So what I went through is, like I said, sanded with 400 grit. Then I followed up with 500 grit, 600 grit, 800 grit, 1,000 grit, and then 1,500 grit. And then I buffed this out with some white rubbing compound, and then wiped it off, cleaned it up, then went over it with like a carnauba wax. So this is what I've got left over for now. I still got to go over it with some mold release wax, but just wanted to kind of show where I'm at, and I think it's turning out pretty good. Pretty happy with it. So this is what I want to get the rest of my molds, this type of finish. That way when I bolt them together, they should pop out of the mold a lot easier, being that everything's smooth on it. So this one here, like I said, you can see, I don't know if you can see or not, but right here, there's like that little thing right there. That's from the tape. So that's what I filled in on the other one. There's some other spots up here that's got it. You know, just little various spots. So I got to go over this whole thing with a body filler, and then same process on this one as I did on the other one here. So that's what I'm doing with that. I did do some work on one of my other pieces here. Bear with me here for a moment. So these are all of my molds just standing up here for the monocoque. So this piece right here is the worst one out of the whole thing. So what I've done is gone through and cleaned everything up with the body filler over here to get everything smoothed back out. So I'm somewhat happy with where this is at. Still got to do some work over here though. Just go through and any imperfections fill with my body filler, and get it real smooth like I did the other one. And I might wind up re-gel coating this particular piece just because of you know, the amount of work that I have here. Might be better just to re-gel coat it, knowing that the body filler and stuff hopefully would have a harder time coming off. So that's my update for right now. I'm going to keep on sanding on all these panels and get them all buffed out. And once I get done with that, then I'll bolt everything together, and then we'll get ready to start putting some clay in the seams, and then we'll get ready to build another one. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that now. So tell me what you think. Hello, so back again, it's a new day. So I got this all sanded down with 400 grit. Then all the problem areas that you see the body filler on, I got smoothed on there. There's a couple places I may have to go over again a time or two, but next thing up is going to be using 400 grit to sand this all down, and it'll be similar to that last piece that I showed you. as far as you know, you'll see all the little areas inside here that have a problem, and the rest of the body filler will be gone. So that worked out really well on that last piece. So I'm going to continue to do the same thing onto this one, and then after I get done with the 400 grit, then I'll start moving up to 500 grit, 600 grit, 800 grit, 1000 grit, 1500 grit, and then I'll do a buff on it with some white rubbing compound and a wool pad. Then I'll go back over it with like a carnauba wax. And then last thing before it will be ready to actually make a part will be the mold release wax. So I'll be putting several coats of that on all this once it's done. So I'll show you after I get all this body filler sanded off of here what we've got on this one, and we'll go from there. So I've got this panel here is all sanded up, ready to go. So I've sanded it with started with 400 grit, and then I'm put my filler in it. As you can see, if you look down on it, you can see some white spots and stuff in there. That's body filler that I have in there. It's just to smooth the surface out. So after that, then I sanded the whole thing with 400 grit again to level the body filler on it, to level it out. Then I moved up to 600 grit, then 800 grit, then 1000 grit, 1500 grit. Got this piece here done as well. I've got a little bit more filler on this, as you can see along this edge here. This really doesn't affect the mold because the edge of the door that you trim to is right here. So I just put that on there, that way when I'm laying my fiberglass and stuff, it's a nicer, easier, smoother transition. So that's why I did that. Then I've got a couple little spots here that I had to fill in, you know, anywhere I needed to fill in a little bit. So and then same process on this one as I did on the other one as far as sanding. So ready to get ready to buff these out. So once I get to that point, I'll show you where I'm at then. So I got these all buffed, and I got one coat of like carnauba wax on. So just wanted to kind of show you my progress here. So then again, this is not perfect, but it's good enough for my purposes and what I'm going to do with it. I did get this other piece done as well. Seems like it turned out pretty good as well. So that's what I got right now. That's 3 pieces that I've got done. Still got a whole pile full here, so it's probably going to take me a little while to get through all these, but I figure the better appearance that I can get as far as a finish on these, the better off I'm going to be whenever I put them together and decide to pull a part off of them. Not to mention putting the PVA and everything on, along with the mold release wax, should make it easier for it to pop out with a smoother finish like I've got on these two. I do have another piece over there that's done too. I'm not showing it right this moment, but it's right there. Got that piece all done. So like I said, none of these other pieces over here are finished. So that's what's going to be on the list of stuff for me to do. It's hard for me to get out here and work on this because my work, I do work full time, and I've been putting in a lot of overtime hours. So I'll get to this when I can, and we'll try to keep the videos coming. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate everybody that subscribes. If you haven't subscribed, please do.